So let's get right into it. Nico, to be honest with you, this was just a jumbled mess of words. I was trying to make a joke about strokes and linking it to the Pope's death to get a current event in here, but I was the one who ended up having a stroke. We have a new intro just in time before the draft, and I'll be honest, this is going to be a short one because a lot of the effort went into this one. This is number 150 of Hoagies and Pierogis. Enjoy. I feel like this one captures our chaotic nature. Recorded in central Pennsylvania in front of a live studio audience with your host Ian DiCarlo, this is Hoagies and Pierogis. All right, yes, this is going out the day of the draft. I am so excited. I'm going to get all of my reactions ready for for next week, so do not worry about that. We'll get into that. I cannot wait. We'll go over to see what the Patriots might do again at the end here. Who knows? But I hope the intro was good. I haven't finished it yet, so I have an idea. But yeah. I hope it turns out the way I'm thinking it does. Okay, NBA. We had the play-in tournament, and the Mavericks won their first game, and I thought that meant they were in the playoffs, and I was like, damn it, they beat the Kings, and they made it into the playoffs. Oh, hold up. They survived their first play-in game on the back of a 16-point second quarter from Klay Thompson. He tends to do that occasionally, who I keep forgetting is on the Mavs. But the Grizzlies took care of business on Friday night and beat the Mavs in dominant fashion, 120-106, with the Mavs being down by as much as 25 in the first half, even with Anthony Davis putting up 40 points in the game. Fire Nico already. What are you waiting for? They had a 70% chance to make the playoffs before the Luka trade, and were 26-24 at the time of the trade. They're the 11th team in NBA history to miss the playoffs after making the finals the year prior. That is insane.
I did know that Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level, but really the way we looked at it is, if you're putting a team on the floor that's Kyrie, Klay, PJ, Anthony Davis, and Lively. We feel that's a championship caliber team, and we would have been winning at a high level, and that would have quieted some of the outrage. And so unfortunately we weren't able to do that, so it just continued to, go on and on.
Nico motherfucking Harrison, is he retarded? I mean, seriously, he should just be fired solely because of that comment. He is so out of touch, out of the loop in Dallas. He shouldn't be in charge. How did you not know that your superstar 26-year-old player that is the best player possibly of this generation was the rock of the Mavericks franchise, and the fans would be pissed over trading him? A reporter asked him why he shouldn't be fired.
And
I'm sorry.
No, my bad. When Luka comes back to town, the Lakers game's happening, and you're standing there, and there's thousands of people chanting for you to be fired. That's an experience that none of us, no one's chanting for for us to lose our jobs. Why shouldn't you be fired?
Well, one, I think I've done a really good job here, and I don't think I can be judged by the injuries this year. You have to judge from totality, from beginning to end. And so I think I have a really good working relationship with Patrick. I think you add in Rick. The leadership that we have is really elite. And you'll see next year when our team comes back, we're going to be competing for a championship.
The team was awful after the trade, even without injuries. You'll be back in contention next year. You're going to be relying on a 32-year-old AD. I thought he was 36. A 33-year-old Kyrie, I thought he was 40. And a 35-year-old Klay Thompson, which checks out, but I also thought that he was at least 36. Even though I thought the core was older, I really don't think that they can do that much. Not one of them has done anything without a major amount of help, and having each other isn't enough. Klay had Steph and Draymond Green, and Kyrie and AD had LeBron. A team of Steph, Draymond Green, and LeBron would destroy a team of Klay, Kyrie, and AD. There's just no comparison there. They might have some of the same accolades when it comes to championship pedigrees, but They are absolutely not on the level that you think they are on, Nico. You should be gone by the time this podcast is uploaded. And some more basketball news. Cooper Flagg made a bunch of Duke fans disappointed by declaring for the 2025 NBA draft. He'll be going number 1, that's for sure. To who? I have no idea. Okay, let's get into some baseball. Let's start out with the Pirates. I mean, this whole section is probably going to be the Pirates for the most part. Our week started by McCutchen getting pitched at by Jorge Lopez, who we did go over on the podcast after he threw his glove over the netting. Like we said, we thought he threw it straight at a fan, and he was released after saying that the team was shit and that he's been a horrible teammate. A lot of people thought that he was misquoted, but the Mets had to have realized that, and it was just an excuse for a larger attitude problem, the Mets getting rid of him. Even if it was retaliation for Keller hitting DeYoung straight in the face and breaking his nose on complete accident. It was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Keller. He usually is up at 95, 96. Lopez already plunked Reynolds before throwing it Kutch's head.
Oh!
He was suspended 3 games the next day, and he said he was appealing his suspension, and even Kutch said that he did it on accident. But come on, you already hit Reynolds. You're not going to be throwing at Kutch like that in the head. And then I had written down here, is this the event that kickstarts some winning habits? They won the next game against the Nationals 1-0, and we're sitting at 8-12 after Thursday afternoon's game. Well, it turns out it wasn't, as they got swept by the Guardians over the weekend. They got demolished on Friday, losing 10-7, but they were down 10-2 at one point, so it was pretty ugly. And then Saturday was Skeen's bobblehead night, and the first 20,000 fans got the bobblehead, and it was a really nice weather for a game, so people wanted to get there early. There was a huge line. But then it was announced that Nutting took a drive around the stadium, which I don't completely believe, and was like, well, everyone waiting should get one, and all fans in attendance that scanned a ticket got a Skeens bobblehead. So standing in that long-ass line was useless. Nutting does not care about your time whatsoever, not one little bit. He knew putting a limited number on the bobbleheads would bring out the crowd, and of course it's Skeens, so everyone wants a piece of it, not just Pirates fans. This was his plan all along. He's trying to look like the good guy by giving out $1 bobbleheads, probably even less than that, to everyone. Come on. And then, what do you know? You're always going to get more sell the team chance when skiing starts are completely wasted. They lost that game 3-0 in the 10th inning. They tried to start a rally in the 9th, but Emmanuel Valdez slid into 3rd in this game and was called out after being called safe twice because he raised his hand to call for time with an injured shoulder. Obviously injured shoulder. He probably can't speak English well, which is why he raised his hand.
He's off, now he's back on.
He's asking for time here. He's in pain. Time.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. The runner is out.
That's a load of shit. A complete load of shit. I'm really glad Pitching Ninja actually brought attention to it by tweeting it out. But you know what? Who even cares? They got swept on Sunday after making a three-run comeback in the 9th to tie it at 4, only to lose it 5-4 in the 10th inning. There is now a real sense that someone is going to get fired sooner rather than later, with pressure mounting not only from the fans, but the team is getting a little bit frustrated as well with some comments from McCutchen and Skeens himself. Shelton should have been ejected arguing that out call on the slide at 3rd with Valdez. He should have been absolutely livid. But what was he doing? Standing on the stair, elbow up on the railing, just looking out, not doing anything. He should have been fired last year after they got swept by the Padres for the 2nd time in 1 week, pushing them out of the wild card picture completely. You know what? I don't think firing Shelton will do anything, though. Charrington also needs to go, but will that even do anything either? If he has to spend between the front office or free agents, the next guy is going to have to do the same, and he's going to have to work within the same restraints as Charrington. Nutting is the problem. Sell the damn team to someone who cares. And that frustration is flowing over onto social media. McCutchen is like crashing out on Twitter. Maybe not like crashing out, But get off the app and quit responding to people, man. Like, don't let your internet presence leave a bad taste in fans' mouths before you leave, Kutch. Please, just get off of Twitter. All right, enough of the Pirates rants. We did this enough last year. I'm tired of doing it, to be completely honest with you. How about some more City Connects? These Diamondbacks new City Connects are clean. Oh my God. Classic purple and teal. The second round of the City Connects has been amazing so far. And then also, just to transition us into football a little bit, Ben Johnson had one of the nastiest first pitches that I think I've ever seen. Was that a kick change? He's going to be wishing he played baseball after Caleb Williams is driving him crazy. All right. Into college football, into some more NIL news and like rumblings with coaches speaking out about it. So Syracuse head coach Fran Brown was keeping it real on how much a wide receiver should be paid in college.
With all due respect to everybody in the country, to every wide receiver, to everybody that's doing all this stuff, like, if you want to make $2 million at wide receiver, that's to blow a homie over at Ohio State. Ain't nobody else making that money. Giving a wide receiver no $2 million, man, in college. Nah. That ain't me. I ain't doing that. I can't do it. Unless they tell me that we get a chance to have Travis Hunter, he could come back to college and he could come here and play for us, then he gonna get some of my check. But I ain't paying nobody $2,000 this year. Not to me. $2 million, whatever. I just say, yeah, we ain't giving nobody that.
And he's totally right. Jeremiah Smith should be the only one making that type of money, if not only quarterbacks. That's an insane $2 million. Come on. In a similar fashion, like I said, Lane Kiffin was baffled to hear how much Carson Beck was making after transferring to Miami.
Down in Miami, what's Carson Beck?
4.3.
4.3
is the valuation.
Million. I think my biggest year was 6. He's a college kid. So, like, you bring up the comparison of what they're doing. They're really getting NFL money.
Miami gave him $4.3 million?
That's what the evaluation says. Hey,
did they watch this game against us?
You don't have to be great, Coach. Hey, Lane,
I was trying not to go. You set me.
And he is also right. Carson Beck shit the bed last year. Do you think this year is going to be any better with a lot of Miami's better skill players leaving? Arroyo is going to be gone. Restrepo is going to be gone. Who else? I'm sure there's more people from Miami leaving this year. And speaking of quarterbacks, who's becoming our favorite quarterback to talk about? Amaliava. We knew it right when he was called up. Amaliava. That's how I thought it was pronounced, but no, it's Amaliava. Posted this on his Instagram story. Nico, no one said anything about you trying to throw the game. You said that. No one else did. But it sure looks like you tried to. The rumor was about you sitting out before the game trying to get more money. You're obviously going to try your best if you're in the game. But with you saying that, I have some doubts about you actually trying. I mean, it was cold as fuck, but that was a shit performance. And I guess he's getting paid around $2 million at UCLA anyway, so it doesn't even matter. But the big news, huge news. This is something that I did not even think about until it was announced. From Brett McMurphy on Twitter, NCAA approved a rule change for injury timeouts in 2025. Under the new rule, if medical personnel enters the field to evaluate an injured player after the ball is spotted by the officiating crew for the next play, that player's team will be charged a timeout. If a team does not have any timeouts remaining, a 5-yard delay of game penalty will be assessed. Thank you. This should curb it a little bit at the very least. Enough of the flopping. We have had enough. It would now be kind of funny if coaches instructed the medical trainers to not go out because they instructed a certain player to go down on the play and then delay the game that way a little bit. If they actually broke their leg or tore a ligament on the play, that would be hilarious. Very unfortunate for the player, but funny on the team for it backfiring completely. And then I think that would permanently stop it. Last little bit of football news here. And it's finally goddamn about time. Holy shit, they are letting Lee Corso rest. They're taking him out back behind the barn and sending him up to doggy heaven, to mascot heaven. Oh, no. You know what? I wonder what the odds are he even makes it to August 30th. Someone said his last game should be Alabama, Florida State on that day, but what? That's the worst possible game. That would be horrible. And I actually just looked it up. It is for sure going to be Texas at Ohio State. It only makes sense. It's a playoff matchup. Arch Manning's going to be there, and Ohio State's the defending national champions. So, duh. You know what? Maybe he'll go Ohio State. I could see him going Ohio State as his final one. Well, rip to Lee Corso eventually. God, I hope this one doesn't end up like a Kyron Lacey and I find out through a comment in my fucking Instagram. Okay, on to the NFL. So, according to Caleb Williams, I think the NFL game has become very friendly, and I don't necessarily want friends, because I want to keep that competitive advantage. Is he not aware that no one wants to be his friend in the first place? What the fuck is wrong with him? Dude, keep trying to get better at football and quit talking about, I don't want to be friends. I don't want to be friends. I want to keep a competitive advantage. Quit talking and get to it then. Okay, but in regards to the draft, there has seemingly been a lot of back and forth on the Giants taking Shedeur at number 3. The front office apparently wants him, but the coaching staff apparently doesn't, which would be the opposite in my head. You would think that the coaching staff would want him to try to get another year, maybe, to stay there, but to try to keep their jobs. But the front office wanting him is kind of weird. I don't know why you would want to be pounding the table for Sanders. And apparently I just saw a clip that said he might be going to the Steelers. He said something about DK and Pickens.
You got one more.
Whoever gonna be the quarterback for DK Metcalf and George Pickens, whoever that is.
Oh, and why did it take me this long to realize that Shedeur Sanders is just retarded Caleb Williams? Kind of in a similar fashion to how Cam Ward said something about about Calvin Ridley and who's the other one? The other one that doesn't matter and who shouldn't have even been mentioned in the top 4, Treylon Burks. But it may be trade bait, and I think the Browns or the Giants right now are considering taking calls for number 2 or 3. So in that case, the Patriots should definitely be garnering calls for number 4. But if they really are considering taking Sanders and the Pats end up with one of Hunter or Carter, obviously I love it. Getting Carter immediately puts the defense in the top 10. If not top 5 consideration, they'll be getting a lot of pressure. They still need a safety, in my opinion, in that case, which trading back up into the first round might be an option for them. Or if they stay in the second round, even Worry still might be there. He's kind of fallen a little bit. Starks is kind of fallen a little bit. We'll see what goes on there with safety. I think they should take a safety at some point. But yeah, some more news on the draft. Travis Hunter's dad was able to get a leave from house arrest to watch the New England Patriots take his son at number 4 overall. And you love to see it. Isn't that just beautiful? But no, seriously, you have to feel good for Hunter, especially with how much emotion he showed over his dad when he got the Heisman. This will be incredible to see for the people that are there. Hell, I'll get my reaction to it. I might be shedding a tear too. Shedeur might be shedding a tear when he doesn't get picked in the first round. One last bold prediction for the draft. If Hunter and Carter are off the board, the Pats take Genty, trade their second and higher third-round pick with the Steelers at number 21, ahead of the Texans, get the best offensive lineman available, but then the Steelers use that second rounder from the Pats and a future third to get back into the end of the first with the Commanders at number 29 to get either, if Sanders is still on the board, Sanders, or Jalen Milroe. Okay, like I said, I've been super busy, super duper busy, so I'm going to end this one short. This one's going to be really short. We got the draft upcoming tonight. I'm just so excited. The next one's going to be long. Antonio Brown said he was going to be on Kill Tony on Monday night, which he was not supposed to say. That episode's not going to be out for the next 2 weeks, and guests really aren't supposed to say anything. The MLB The Show series is going well on YouTube. I got my first ever, why doesn't this have more views comment? I felt so fucking good after seeing that. That was incredible. And let's check Twitter here to see if anything else happened, but I don't think anything else did. All right, and that is it. Make sure to leave a like and comment on each video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hoagies and Pierogis is available on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Actually, still don't know if it's on Apple. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok for clips occasionally. And we'll leave you with this. Munch, 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 munch. New outro. recorded in central Pennsylvania in front of a live studio audience with your host Ian DiCarlo. This is Hoagies and Pierogis.